has had enough of me because I admit I've been a challenge. I was so heated up with anger. I know you're going to think I'm insane.
I am absolutely no way forgiving her.
Hello, this is Alison from Police Emergency. We just received a call from this number.
Yes, I need you to get the ambulance and the police out here immediately.
To which address?
Please come. I need you. This is our immediate life or death situation.
Which suburb or town is that in?
St. Clair.
Okay,
St.
so
Clair.
what's the nearest crossroad, please?
What's the nearest one? Listen, can you talk to the neighbour? I'm flustered. Can you just talk to him?
Rochford Street, is it?
Could you? Because my hand's bleeding. Yes. Thank you. Can you talk to?
What's happened?
I don't know. We was just at home, but she just come in screaming for help. And when suddenly I opened the door, she said, "Just help me," and call the police or ambulance. And she said to me, she had a fight with her mom, I think.
Okay.
My mum tried to stab me, and I killed her.
So did she just say her mum tried to stab her?
I don't know because of
Yes. In self-defense, I think I killed her. Yes. Can you tell him to come immediately?
Yeah. Can you please just come immediately, please?
Okay, so she believes that she may have killed her mother.
Mum has had enough of me because I admit I've been a challenge, and this ongoing thing's been going for months anyway. She had enough of me. She grabbed me by the hair and dragged me from my room all the way to the kitchen, and she got a knife and she tried to stab me with it, and I grabbed the knife off her because I thought she was going to stab me, so I stabbed her back. And I was so heated up with anger, I just kept stabbing her, and I took off her head. Her head is I ran to my neighbour, not this neighbour, my other neighbour before this one, who's on the other side. He was at work. I told him to call the ambulance and the police immediately. He's going to do so, but no one's at home because everyone in the family is at work now. Okay. So he wasn't much help. He said, all I can do is I'll call the police and the ambulance to my address, and I thought it was going to take a bit of time, so I ran to my other neighbour on the other side. Okay. And I had my mum's head in my hand. I know this sounds insane.
But it wasn't self-defense at all. Jessica Camilleri, the younger of two daughters, born to Maltese Australian parents Vince and Rita, faced significant challenges from birth. Her IQ, ranging between 55 and 60, placed her in the lowest 1% of the population. From the start, she had delayed developmental milestones impacting her abilities in walking, talking, and coordination. Despite these setbacks, Jessica was articulate and capable of communication. At school, she was in an intermediate class, where her teachers noticed substantial delays in reading, writing, math, and language. Because Jessica was years behind her age group, she was often subjected to teasing, taunting, and bullying. That was the start of her triggered bouts of rage, symptomatic of intermittent explosive disorder, IED. Experts describe the disorder as feeling so overwhelmed by rage at a minor inconvenience, like someone cutting in line, that it triggers an uncontrollable physical response. It relates to the brain's lack of serotonin, the mood hormone. At school, Jessica had explosive outbursts, attacked other students or teachers, and got suspended. It was almost always females, but on one occasion she bit a male student, and even when they tried to pull her off him, she refused to disengage her teeth. Jessica also had autism spectrum disorder, which professionals said made her life even more complicated. She had impaired judgment and a hard time understanding people's thoughts, feelings, and empathy. With that, everyday tasks like grocery shopping, public transportation, finances, home maintenance, and getting a job were challenging. Jessica would hyper-focus on specific interests, including a fascination with horror movies, a significant aspect of her life. Rita and Vince Camilleri separated while she was a teenager, and her father said that his estranged wife could not discipline Jessica and that his daughter mistreated her mother. After leaving school, she was placed in supportive environments where she had explosive outbursts and was asked to leave. She was unable to cope in all of these environments, so she ended up on disability support pension, and eventually, when it came into being, the NDIS. And so from 2013, 20-year-old Jessica was sitting at home. She found a new, equally problematic hobby. She would make up phone numbers, call them, and try to speak to people, preferably men. One of them was a Bangladeshi family unknown to her. Jessica would phone them up to 100 times a day just because she liked their number. A year before the murder, she began calling the numbers of staff at a meat company. She developed a crush on the boss, Matthew Layfield. After she called several male staffers, then moved on to Layfield's wife and sister-in-law, who Jessica told, "I'll cut your head off with a chainsaw and flush it down the toilet." He called Rita Camilleri, saying things were getting out of hand. By this point, she had also been aggressive to women in the street and at shopping centers. Jessica had been banned from a doctor's surgery after she became paranoid about a female patient in the waiting room, became aggressive, and had to be restrained. At the next hospital, she was aggressive with a female nurse. Jessica was finally admitted to a psychiatric unit for 9 days for an episode of severe mood disorder and placed on lithium for purported bipolar affective disorder and antipsychotic medicines. But later that year, she was off her medication again. Out of desperation, Rita even paid a medium 2,500 Australian dollars, about 1,750 US dollars, to get the demon out of Jessica just 2 weeks before the incident. On July 20th, 2019, the day of the attack, Jessica was distressed with her mother's preoccupation with her 4-year-old nephew. She also believed Rita had humiliated her in front of a man who was merely walking past them in a car park. When they visited her sister's place, the pressure was building up. Jessica was arguing, and her mother was trying to placate her. Later that evening, she asked her mother to call a doctor, who left very quickly, in fear for her life. Jessica actually chased the woman down the driveway as the doctor escaped in a vehicle. Rita allegedly told her daughter, "I've had enough. I'm ringing 000 to get an ambulance here and put you back into care, back into the mental health care system." And that's when the attack began. She grabbed the phone and fought with Rita, who tried to walk to another room to get another phone. But the relentless woman followed and then started stabbing her mother. Jessica's 4-year-old nephew tried to help, jumping on the attacker. The little boy took the lid of a toy box and hit her on the head. Jessica pushed him away and slashed his face. By the end of the frenzied attack, the 25-year-old had broken 4 knives and used 7 in total. She then walked to the neighbor's house with her mother's head in her hand. She dropped it on the way. When the police arrived, Jessica said Rita had tried to kill her and she was defending herself. She also asked the officers if they would be able to sew her mother's head back on. The little boy had sustained a minor head injury and was transported to a children's hospital. Police identified him as the victim's grandson and nephew of the 25-year-old. Jessica Camilleri was charged with murder. During the week-long trial, the court saw graphic police evidence, including the crime scene body cam video and a police interview. In both, the woman's face was still coated with her mother's blood, and her hands were bagged. Jessica told investigators she got the idea to decapitate her mother, who was her sole carer, from the movies she obsessively watched, including the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Jeepers Creepers. The autopsy found the 57-year-old had suffered monumental injuries, at least 100 stab wounds over the head. Ultimately, Rita died from multiple stab wounds with decapitation at the C2 vertebra at the top of her neck. Jessica Camilleri was found guilty of manslaughter, a decision influenced by her considerable mental health challenges, including ADHD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, autism spectrum disorder, and an intellectual disability, rather than murder. This verdict came after the court acknowledged that her mental impairment significantly affected her ability to control her actions and discern the morality of her behavior. Despite the spontaneous nature of her actions, testimony from multiple psychiatrists and a psychologist revealed Camilleri's simple understanding of moral wrongness attributed to her psychiatric and intellectual conditions. utilizing the defense of substantial impairment by abnormality of the mind under Section 23A of the Crimes Act 1900 in New South Wales. The jury recognized that these conditions substantially diminished her culpability. She was sentenced to 21 years in prison with a non-parole period, but that was later changed by the Sydney Supreme Court, which resentenced Jessica to a prison term of 16 years, with a non-parole period of 12 years, and this would also change after she ripped the hair off 2 prison officers. In August 2021, Jessica pulled a guard's hair after a cell search. She later said she didn't like the guard or the inmate she was talking to and had decided to give them a little bit of the taste of her own medicine. 2 months later, she refused to put her hands through a hatch to be handcuffed before grabbing the hair of a guard who approached her. The guard was left with bald patches after the attack. As a result, parole was extended to 13 years. Jessica Camilleri will now be eligible for parole in July 2032. Alicia Fennell was celebrating a birthday at her Palm Coast house that's seen her raise 7 children and, at least in part, 14 grandchildren. Alicia's daughter lives next door, where she was at work while her 2 children, an 8-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy, were at the home. The 8-year-old girl went next door to get diapers so Alicia could change her little brother while they sat on the porch with 2-year-old Kalisa and the grandson. As they often do, the 2 younger children were going back and forth off the patio through the screen door to the next house. Then the phone rang. The children hadn't come back from the other house, so Alicia went inside to pick it up. It was her daughter, saying she'd left a back door open so they could easily go in if they needed extra clothes. Just as she hung up the phone, the 2-year-old boy told Alicia that Kalisa was floating face up in the pool. One of the granddaughters jumped in and passed the little girl to the grandmother, who immediately made this call.
Cycle County 911.
Hurry up, take call 911. Hurry.
What's going on, ma'am?
Yes, I need an ambulance right away.
What happened? What happened?
Fell in the pool.
Okay, listen to me. Is the baby out of the pool?
She's out of the pool.
Okay, is she breathing?
No, she's not.
Okay, does anyone know how to do CPR?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I can tell you. How old is the child?
She's 3.
She's 3? Okay, where is she laying at? Is she laying on the floor?
She's laying on the floor on her back.
Okay.
Quickly, go get the lady across the street. Hurry up. Come in.
Ma'am, I can tell you how to do CPR. Can you listen to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is she laying on a hard surface?
She's laying on her back. She's throwing up. She's throwing up.
Okay, turn her to the left, okay?
Okay.
And make sure...
Huh?
See if she's breathing then if she's throwing up.
No, she's not breathing now.
She's not breathing?
No, ma'am.
Can you clean... Okay, listen, clean her mouth out then.
Yes, ma'am. I'm cleaning
And roll her to her side and clean out her mouth.
Okay.
How long was she in the water?
Nah, she just fell in the water.
Okay. So was she face down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. She needs to be on a hard surface like the floor.
She's on the floor.
Okay. Did you clean out her mouth?
Yes.
Make sure. Okay, check and see if she's breathing at all. Is her chest? She's not. Okay. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you what to do. Okay.
What's that?
You pinch her nose. Pinch her nose, and with the other hand, you're going to lift her chin and gently tilt her head back. Okay? And then you want to cover her mouth with yours and get 2 deep breaths.
Okay. Now she's not doing nothing.
Listen to me, but you need to help her breathe. So if you give her 2 breaths, you need to check and see that her chest rose. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then she didn't, then we need to do chest compression.
Oh, wait a minute, ma'am. Hurry up.
Yes.
Ma'am, huh?
Yes. What happened?
Hurry.
Ma'am, listen to me. Is she awake? Is she breathing? What is she doing?
She's
not waking. No, ma'am, she's not. Okay, listen to me. Ma'am, you have to calm down so I can tell you how to help her. Okay. Did you give her the 2 breaths? Okay. After that, you need to start chest compressions. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, you need to do chest compressions. You know how to do that?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, listen to me and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Put the heel of one hand in the center of her chest, right between her nipples.
Okay.
And push down about a half depth of the chest and push down 30 times quickly.
3 times quickly.
30. 30.
Okay. 12.
I have them, listen to me, I have them on the way to you, okay? They're on the way to help you. I just need you to keep giving breaths and doing compression.
Okay.
I understand, ma'am. We're coming.
Is the man coming?
They're on the way. Did you do your 30 compressions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you need to pinch the nose and lift the chin and gently tilt the head back and get 2 breaths again. And then you need to do 30 compressions again. Put your hand in the middle of her chest between her nipples and push down 30 times.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to keep doing that. So count.
Ma'am. Khalid. Ma'am, she's trying to cough, ma'am.
She's trying to cough? Okay, that's good.
Khalid.
See, listen to me. Check in her neck and see if she has a pulse. See if she's breathing. Is she responding?
Yes,
she's responding?
She's trying to.
Okay. Is she responding to it all?
She's closing out.
Okay. Check and see if she's breathing. Is her chest rising? Does she have a pulse in her neck?
Yeah. Look, she's breathing, but it's congested, like.
Okay. Is there anything else? Check and see if there's anything else in her mouth. Is she vomited again, or is there anything blocking her airway?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, we are on the
They're on the way. I promise. They're on the way to you. They're coming as fast as they can.
Okay.
Is she responding at all to you?
She's just, no, please help me. Come here, help
Is somebody there?
me. Wait a minute. No.
Ma'am, what's going on?
Ma'am?
Yeah. Is she responding to you?
No, she's not responding. She's trying to.
Okay. Just try to wake her up. Check and see if she has a pulse. Make sure her chest is rising.
She tried.
Who's there with you?
Stop taking the phone.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
The neighbor.
The neighbor, okay. I can hear the sirens. Go out and get them. Can you see? Hello?
I'm opening now.
Wait a minute. Hey, come on, baby. Come on, right here. Come on, right here, baby. Come on, right here. Right here, come in. Right here, baby. Right here. Yeah, right here, Mom. Right here.
Hello? Hello?
Right here. Right here. Oh, Jesus. Please help me. Help me. Oh.
Ma'am? Hello? I know.
Okay.
The 11-year veteran dispatcher, Genice Caccavale, patiently guided Alicia through CPR, ultimately saving the 2-year-old's life. Kalisa was taken to the hospital and then transferred to a pediatric unit. The little girl had already made a significant recovery by the next day. She showed no signs of any adverse effects from the incident. The situation would quickly escalate following a 911 call after 20-year-old Kaylee Renee Butts was kidnapped from her work.
Norman 911, what's the address of your emergency? And the telephone number you're calling me from, please? It's a business?
Yes.
And the name to it?
Walden's Cleaners.
Okay, nature of the problem. Tell me what's going on.
Well, I got here this morning. I pulled up. I was the only one here.
Mm-hmm.
My other employee pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a little bit of kind of commotion or screaming. I didn't think anything of it. She never came inside. I just went out there to get her out of her car. Her purse is in her car. She's not anywhere to be found. So I'm kind of a little nervous about this.
And what kind of car does she drive?
Is like a silver SUV.
SUV, that's okay. Silver SUV.
Toyota. Yeah, silver Toyota SUV. Yeah, her
And
car
so
is here.
does she get there before you or does she get there after you?
After me. Yeah, her car was not here when I pulled up.
And you said you heard something. Were you inside when you heard something?
Yes, I was inside doing my deposit, and I heard a little bit of commotion, but, I mean, there's other businesses and stuff around here, so I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't even see her pull up.
Did you see another car or anything like that?
No, ma'am. I do know that she does have problems with her boyfriend or fiance, stuff like that. You know, I do know they have court cases going on, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
And it's a boyfriend?
Yeah, I've never met him, but I do know they have domestic violence issues.
And do you happen to know his name, what he drives, anything at all? Or where she lives? Any information would be helpful.
And I'm not sure what he drives.
Okay. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get officers started up there. If you see or hear anything else, why don't you give us a call back immediately, even if she shows up, anything that you think might be helpful, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Kaylee had just arrived at her second job around 7:25 a.m. when she felt someone come up behind her. At first, she figured it was her manager joking around with her, but it was 22-year-old Anthony Lamar Carter, with whom Kaylee had been in a 2-year relationship. He told her that he had something to show her. Police responded to the Norman, Oklahoma business premises, but the pair were already gone. The kidnapper was heading toward Texas with his ex-girlfriend in the vehicle. When the red Dodge Charger was spotted in Texas, a high-speed chase began crossing through Wichita Falls and then on U.S. Highway 287 towards Vernon. In hopes of stopping the vehicle, police laid several spike strips, which caused it to lose control and stop. As a Wichita County deputy approached the stopped car, Kaylee fled toward state troopers arriving at the scene. Anthony then tackled her and started stabbing her with a large knife. Texas DPS troopers intervened and, around 9:40 a.m., fatally shot Carter. Kaylee Butts was taken to a hospital in Vernon with serious injuries. A GoFundMe was set up to help with the 20-year-old's medical expenses, revealing she had been stabbed 13 times. A Wilbarger County grand jury cleared the 2 DPS troopers who fired the fatal shots. And, in October, Trooper Aaron Clopton, Corporal Joshua Moore, and Trooper Bart Yoder received awards for their efforts during the incident. Captain Aaron Crumbly of the Vernon Fire Department, who was off duty during the event, received a Director's Award for his life-saving efforts. Kaylee was at the award ceremony to thank those who saved her life.
Hey, hi, this is from Raleigh Airport. We had a pilot that was inbound to the field. His co-pilot jumped out of the aircraft. He made impact to the ground. And here are the coordinates. Are you ready?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, go ahead.
It is 14 south of Raleigh Airport. And here are the coordinates.
And what's the other coordinate?
It was 14 miles south of the field. So they said he jumped out the aircraft. His co-pilot jumped out without the parachute. So he might have impacted the ground.
We're checking to see if we got any type of other,
Okay. It looks like it's not too far from the Wake Technical College off what road is it? I'm just trying to look at like a
Yeah, no, if you can find something to help me out.
Westlake Middle School area.
Give me that. Say that again.
Westlake Middle School.
Westlake.
That's kind of the general area I'm looking at. I mean, this is give or take a mile or so.
Did you say West Wake or West Lake?
Lake. Lima Alpha Kilo Echo.
Okay. Yeah. When I'd asked you about the pilot, was he still circling?
No, I believe he is. Did he land? He's on the 2 miles now. He's getting ready to land.
Okay. And Tom, what was your name again, sir? And what's the callback number for you? All right. And you're with RDU, correct?
Yes. Well, this is the FAA. We're at RDU, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right. I mean, I guess at this point in time, all we can really do is recovery.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard anything craziest thing I've ever told.
Yeah, well, me neither. And we'll put it in. Do we know what the person looks like by any chance? Do we know anything about the guy that jumped?
I have no idea. Once the pilot lands, we can get more information like that. If you call us back in like 10 minutes or so, we'll see if we can get more information on that.
Okay.
We'll do our best. I mean, I'm sure this pilot's going to be shaken up. I have no idea. He literally just said my pilot just jumped out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get something into action. See what we can do.
Okay. Thank you much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
911, what's that? Said emergency.
Hey, this is Raleigh Wake.
Hey, what's
so I've got a call for you.
Okay.
So RDU Air Traffic Control FAA just called and advised they had a small plane inbound and the co-pilot jumped out.
The co-pilot jumped out?
Yes.
Where?
They are putting it in the area about a 1 mile radius of West Lake Middle School.
Okay.
They do not have the description of the person that jumped out yet. The plane is still, it's actually,
I think it just landed. We just heard it over the radio. Do you have any identifying information for that subject?
Listen, all we know is when the pilot reported it, we looked at the latitude, longitude, and it was roughly over the Westlake Middle School general area where they said that the person left the aircraft. We're not sure exactly where, but it's kind of that area.
Okay. Do we know if this is going to be do we know who we're looking for?
I don't have any details right now, but the pilot said that, they are very shaken up and that they did not have a parachute on.
Okay.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hey, this is from RDU Communications.
Yes, sir.
Somebody called, said about one person ejected off the plane.
Yes, sir.
It is confirmed.
Carrie, please, how can I help you?
Yeah, hi, this is Raleigh Airport. I have more information.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I have a description of the person that we're looking for.
Okay.
That's a 27-year-old white male. He's 5'10", with black hair, black shirt, and tan shorts.
An FAA air control staff member made the call, but there were discrepancies about whether 23-year-old Charles Crooks actually jumped from the plane. The plane left Rayford, North Carolina around 1:10 p.m. with the 2 pilots on board. Approximately 20 minutes later, the plane began circling Rayford West Airport and attempted a hard landing on a dirt military runway nearby, but had to abort due to a loss of a wheel.
We were attempting to land. We made contact with the ground, had a hard landing, and decided to go around, and at that point we lost the wheel.
It was then given permission to land at Raleigh-Durham International Airport. By 2:30 p.m., the aircraft was flying at about 3,850 feet over Fuquay-Varina, which is where Crooks's body was later discovered.
We're a strong family and we're a very loving family, and so, but this, it leaves a hole that we just don't know how we'll ever fill.
It made an emergency landing in Raleigh about 20 minutes after that, with only one pilot on board. The plane has a rear loading ramp that can be opened during flight, making it ideal for parachute training. The autopsy report showed no alcohol, but there were traces of anxiety medication. His father said Crooks could be hard on himself. Meanwhile, the preliminary NTSB report said he was visibly upset after trying to conduct the first landing. When the landing gear hit the runway, the commanding pilot took over. The finding says the 23-year-old got up from his seat, apologized, and departed the airplane via the ramp door. In contrast, there were reports that he had begun to feel sick, had gone to vomit, and accidentally fell out of the plane. More than a year and a half later, the full circumstances of Charles Crooks' death remain unclear on whether the pilot jumped or fell, with some adamant he had intended to exit the plane. But in December 2023, the NTSB released an 11-page report saying his death was accidental after the 23-year-old made an unsafe decision to run to the rear of the aircraft while the ramp was open and lost his footing. For more True 911 calls, watch this episode next.